What's up, guys? We got one here from P's World. 4B movement failed, and this new feminist trend is worse. Let's get into it.
This is how I've cut men out of my life completely and how you can as well. I'm right now at 7B status, so there is 4B, which is no sex with men, no marriage, no babies. I already do that. 7B is the most extreme level of not having to interact with men at all. So the first thing is I'm very mindful about the media that I consume. I don't read love stories, dating rants. It's just not applicable to me because, you know, when you're consuming somebody's story, then you take on their energy and you take on their frustration, and then it becomes your problem as well, especially if you're quite an empathetic person and you're very sympathetic. So instead, I read educational content, true crime to keep me aware. I love poetry about self-love and healing, and anything to do with enhancing my hobbies and bringing me closer to any goals that I.
So wait, hold up.
So 7B status sounds like a self-imposed witness protection program for emotions. So cutting men entirely. Sure, men aren't a Netflix subscription you can cancel and forget. No love stories, just true crime? Because nothing screams self-love like binging how Ted Bundy ruined lives. Wow. Self-improvement's great, but this reeks of weaponized isolation. And a fun fact, loneliness can spike depression by 50%. I mean, look it up. You're not breaking barriers, you're just building an emotional Alcatraz.
I'm getting pissed off. It's been 72 hours since Trump been elected, and we are not getting what we voted for. We're not. And I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed because I could have sworn that these celebrities and these women on The View and all these places said that if we voted Trump in, that they was going to leave the country. And now I saw that the View, they showing up in black dresses just to mourn the president election, Trump being elected. That is not what y'all promised us. Y'all said that if we voted for Trump, that they will leave the country, and y'all ain't boarded a plane yet. And I'm getting frustrated. Trump, you gotta do something about this, because I thought our vote was gonna count. We did vote for that. That's what they not understanding. We voted for y'all to leave the country. And I thought that I would be seeing airlines being, filled up. Tickets would be hard to get because all the celebrities, all of Hollywood, all of these politicians, these journalists that said that if you get elected, that they was gonna board the plane and leave. I can't no more. Our vote ain't counting already, y'all. I guess maybe I'll give them another week, but time is ticking. Get on the plane. All right.
So she expects the Viewcast to actually leave the country. I mean, I would agree with her. They should go. But, hey, I get it. If someone promises to disappear, you expect receipts. But spoiler alert is Hollywood doesn't do economics class or accountability. I mean, the bigger issue here is the vote to make celebrities cry strategy is why elections have become reality TV with the worst writing. Maybe next time let's focus on the policies and not on people boarding Delta, which I do get. Some of these people should just get on planes and go away.
4B movement has evolved into something so much more funnier than I could ever imagine it to be. They are shaving their heads. Honestly, good riddance, because us sane women deserve prettier hair anyways. So not only are these Mayo monsters sitting there holding back their bodies as if the whole world hasn't smashed through it already like the Hulk, but now they're shaving their heads to make themselves unappealing to men. Maybe perhaps they don't understand the only men they're hurting in this is liberal men, but that's none of conservative people's issues. They really think it's such a gotcha because they learned how to close their, disease-ridden salami pockets and shave their head to make themselves easily recognizable.
She said salami pocket. Anyways, shaving heads of protest men. I mean, bold move, but nothing screams like feminist power like repackaging Britney Spears' 2007 meltdown. I mean, come on. Nobody cares. Calling men Hulk smash villains while trying to make yourself unappealing. Okay, who you hurting? Just yourself. The only folks that hurt are the shampoo companies because there's no more hair to wash. A rebellion that looks like a costume party isn't going to fix society's issues. Stay woke, but maybe keep the hair? I don't know.
If you are a conventionally attractive man
that appears to be masculine, like how society, thinks of masculine, and you have left beliefs. You don't even have to be a leftist. You can be the most centrist Democrat in the world. I don't care. You can be a moderate. It is time for you to pick up a podcast mic. And I'm not at all kidding. Because I would totally do it, but I'm a woman. They're not going to listen to me. And that's just a fact. The Democratic Party needs to completely revamp their messaging, and that starts with finding a left-wing Ben Shapiro. I made a video about this yesterday. We need to completely, from the ground up, rebuild this. There is a disconnect in our media nowadays, because we might have mainstream media, sure, whatever, let's go with that line of logic. But the Republicans have completely created these new spaces and then sent their people into these new spaces and taught them how to use them to get them to work for them. The top podcasts are all right-leaning. That's what young people are listening to nowadays. That's what people are using to get information nowadays. People don't watch the news. People don't read the newspaper. They listen to a podcast. The right has echo chambers. We need to create our own echo chambers at this point.
So what do you want to do? You want to
So the plea for a left-wing Ben Shapiro, newsflash, young men don't vibe with TED Talk energy. They want grit, not lectures and a latte sipping tone. Sure, podcasts are powerful, but preaching to an audience craving Joe Rogan-level realness isn't the flex you think it is. Instead of copy and pasting Republican tactics, try authenticity.
How are young men being pushed out of the Democratic Party? Let's talk about it. What I'm about to say might really ruffle some feathers, but I've talked to them and this is what they are telling me. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just repeating what I have been told. I've started going into these spaces with these red-pilled men and genuinely asking them how they ended up here. And I really encourage us to actually hear what they are saying. The patriarchy has existed since the beginning of time. Nobody disagrees with that. The feminist movement was created as a result. Women wanted rights, absolutely. The feminist movement continued to gain ground and traction. We started blaming men for a lot of our problems. KAM, The Bear, all of those movements made these men feel incredibly villainized. They felt targeted. And when they ask questions, a lot of us just yell at them instead of genuinely explaining things to them, having the patience to explain it to them. And I understand that it is incredibly difficult to have patience in situations like this, which is why I'm not sitting here telling everybody to go and do this. But those of us that have the patience, those of us that are willing to sit down and listen to these boys talk about why they feel excluded, we need to be doing that. I don't think it's at all that because we're trying to focus on issues that impact other people, they feel like we're disregarding them. I think that the yelling and screaming at them has really impacted them. And I'm not talking about grown men. I'm talking about teenage boys, young men. They don't understand. So what I'm saying is that we need to build a coalition that helps men and women. We need to find a way to explain to women why men feel the way that they do, and we need to find a way to explain to men why women feel the way that they do in a way that is constructive. In a way that is productive. We need to have dialogue happening right now instead of just yelling and screaming at each other. Because cutting off all men, the 4B movement and all that is just going to push them further. In their mind, we are pushing them into the arms of Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Andrew Tate, and Joe Rogan. That is verbatim what they told me. And again, I'm not saying you have to listen to all of this and absolutely agree with it at all. Not everybody is going to necessarily hear this and go, oh no, this makes a lot of sense. This is probably going to piss a lot of people off. But my response to that is that we need a big tent movement right now. We have become the party of exclusivity. And a lot of you guys are going to sit here and go, well, we don't need them. Clearly we do. Clearly we do need the young men. And that's not me saying that we need to bring their hatred over here. That is me saying that we need to go into these circles and take this hatred out. We need to have these conversations and educate them on a level that they are able to understand. I don't believe it's genuine hatred. I might be proven wrong in a little bit. We'll find out, I guess. But I don't believe it's genuine hatred. I feel like it is a lack of education, a lack of people sitting down actually explaining this to them. Why would the right want to educate them and make them less hateful? They are capitalizing on their hatred right now. These men do not have a space in any political movement. The only emotion that the right teaches them is anger. And I know I'm going to get called a pick me for this, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Because I'm sick and tired of losing. And I don't know if you guys are, but I for one am. And I'm sitting here asking myself, what can we do as a party to not get our asses kicked like we did on Tuesday night? If there is a demographic that you feel like you can appeal to, I encourage you to go into that community and do the work.
Okay, I will give her one point is yes, we all should be sitting down and talking and not yelling and carrying on the way we have been. I can give her that much. But finally someone's admitting yelling at men like they're toddlers doesn't work. The radical idea is maybe if feminists stop treating men as a society's punching bag, men wouldn't run towards Andrew Tate like he's handing out cigars and sports cars. Demonizing half the species isn't liberation, it's lazy. We want unity, then stop playing the blame game, and talking works, tantrums don't.
Women who can divorce their husbands, I'm gonna need you to do it today.
Interesting.
I do wonder where this is going.
And who can't divorce their husband, look up Aqua Tofana.
What?
I didn't say to do anything with it. I just said to look it up.
Right. Because that type of message isn't the least bit disturbing at all.
So, somebody suggested Googling aqua tofana. If you're wondering what it is a poison. And yeah, that's super casual and totally not concerning. You know, if TikTok trends include spousal, I don't know how to even put this one. Homicide, we'll put it that way because I don't know what YouTube would do. Yeah, spousal homicide tips. You know, maybe we've hit the cultural rock bottom. I mean, PSA, deleting memes aren't empowering. I mean, seriously, they're insanity with a filter. I mean, society wonders why men are avoiding marriage like it's a scam email. There was a mention about a KAM movement. If you don't know what that is, and this is what's bothering me, this is the new movement that's coming in, is unalive all men. You can figure out what the K actually means. Where the hell is this world going to?
So wait a fucking minute. So they started another trend called Aqua Tofana and are posting videos about it on social media, including this app, and nothing's being done about it? We're still talking about those particular women over the election situation. So y'all running around poisoning the fuck out of your husbands and shit? You know what? I don't trust nothing moving right now because y'all reckless as fuck for this one. Watch this. So y'all making clear, concise threats to unalive people and posting this shit on social media. And it's still up? I'm so fucking confused. And still, again, no one is protecting the children also. And if you don't know what Aqua Tofana is, let me share this with you.
Today we're gonna make Josh a drink because we're gonna add some aqua tofana into it, not poison.
And sweetie, this, whether you're joking or not, there is absolutely not a fucking thing funny about this shit. Y'all realize you can go to jail for this, right? Like jail. Not just jail for a night, like jail. Like jail food for a couple years.
You know, if a man was to do this, he'd be knocking on the door by the local popo in a heartbeat. You know, but you got women casually dropping poison ideas on social media like it's no big deal. I mean, sure, it sounds totally sane, right? Because nothing screams girl power like advocating for jail time and conjugal visits. You know, this isn't feminism, it's felony advice is what it is. You know, how about empowering each other with something crazy like therapy? Poisoning husbands isn't quirky, it's psychotic. And you're worried about toxic masculinity. I mean, irony overload. This really, really disturbs me. This is where we're at. And why? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, this is why men are like, no. I mean, no to relationships, no to marriage, no to nothing. I want to be alone and in peace. At least you'll live. It just bothers me. Anyways, let's move on.
I woke up this morning and it was heavy on my heart that I owe my brothers an apology. The news created story after story that essentially our brothers were deserting us and that they were turning towards Trump and going to vote for Trump in higher numbers than ever seen before, which was a lie. Trump pulled the same number of black men as he did his last election. I believed all the stories. I got wrapped up in the hype. And you know why that's so crazy? Because I, Randy B, am the one who was always talking about how the media tries to manipulate us, how the media always shows the negativity within the black community. And I'm the one who knows exactly how they manipulate us to create separation between us. But I fell for it. And I became upset. And I did my little think pieces. I think I was always respectful. I always try to be respectful. But I came for y'all. I was upset. I was hurt. Because, you know, with my brothers, I take it personally. I got too much love there not to take it personally. And I was wrong. And I am sorry. that I got wrapped up, that I trusted mainstream media, who has never, for the most part, reflected us in a good light or has ever done anything or written stories that unite us, for the most part. So I am sorry, and that's on me, and I will be more careful in the future. Black men, for the most part, stood by us. Are there the outliers? There's always going to be. But for the most part, brothers voted for us. And many are saying that they were voting in support of our reproductive rights, us as women, and they were voting for a Black woman. May this election remind us of how united Black people are. We may disagree all the time about things because we're family, and families do that. But when it's time to unite and come through, we come through. We showed up for each other. We are a team. I don't want us to focus so much on how we're not good or the dissension between the two of us, between Black men and Black women. I really would like for this to be a time of healing for all of us. Because if we don't have each other, we don't have nothing. If we didn't learn nothing about this election, we need to have learned that. And so thank you, Black men, for standing by us. I'm sorry. And I hope that we continue to build upon this. We use this as a moment to get even stronger. My love to all of you out there.
I mean, props to Randy B for owning up to media manipulation. I mean, the kicker is why does it take election drama to realize mainstream media thrives on division? You know, men and women are teammates, not opposing factions in a football game. You know, if more people thought like this, maybe we'd stop seeing the politics as a soap opera with the worst acting ever. I mean, healing sounds great, but start with unplugging from the propaganda machine.
I think we severely underestimated the amount of women around us who will never be able to stop seeking the approval and validation of the white men around them. And y'all really exposed yourself with the results of this election. These white women who voted against our interests, these are the women that we went to high school with, that we were best friends with in college, that we played sports with our whole lives. But they chose to listen to their dads. They chose to listen to their boyfriends or their husbands. They chose to put the interests of the white men around them in their lives above the interests of women, above the interests of minorities, above the interests of oppressed people. I will never be able to wrap my mind around that. How you can be a highly educated woman, see how women around you are being treated, see how minorities around you are being treated, and still choose to value the opinion of the white men around you the most and vote for their interests. One of the most important women in my life married a rich white man, and she chose to vote for his interests instead of the interests of her 3 daughters. The silence from all of these women right now who could not bring themselves to vote for Harris, to vote for another woman in this election, is shameful, and we will not forget.
Yeah, I mean, women voting against their interests because of white men. I mean, come on. Let's unpack this messy suitcase. You know, maybe people vote based on logic and not gender or loyalty. I mean, shaming others for their choice, that's a one-way ticket to losing allies. Pro tip for you is unity beats finger pointing. Instead of dragging each other, let's tackle the real villains, corruption and greed. Now, guys, I'm not one that likes to push any of the political stuff out here. I mean, we do laugh at all the videos that we kind of put up here and poke fun at things, but this one was a little bothersome for me today, so it leaves me a little discombobulated. But our common thread here is our world is sick. I mean, like mentally sick. Whether it's just our world, the West, our country, whatever, we're sick. And we have people that cannot just take a minute and do their own research and form their own opinions. They're just NPCs just doing what they're told to do, or as like a subroutine in a program. If this, do this. If this, do this. You know, do as I say, do as I say. And that's just where the world seems like. It's not just women, it's men, women. And the people that are strong are the ones that are being labeled out as a villain. The people that can think for themselves, that educate themselves, they do their research, they vote on policies, or they live a specific way based on moral principles, whether it's just in morals in general, trying to be a good person, or through Bible, I'm lost for words, is what the hell happened to our world? We have division, finger pointing, and a sprinkle of outright lunacy. The feminist movement isn't entirely flawed, but weaponizing it to alienate men only deepens the divide. Meanwhile, media and political elites keep us distracted while they cash in on the chaos. You want real change, it's time to focus on fixing the systems, not hating on genders. Men and women need to collaborate. It's not a competition. And we got so much bigger shit going on in the world right now. Look at the state of chaos that's going on in the Middle East, in Ukraine, in Russia. And we have women right now wanting to talk about unaliving men through special drops and drinks from food. I'm sorry, guys. I am beyond lost for words today. What kind of solutions can we have out of this? Are we past a point of no return that we can't get a solution? One of the things I could think of is we can open channels for honest discussions without blaming one specific gender or each other. We could stop letting social media and the mainstream outlets dictate the narrative on the way we should be and promote education over echo chambers. Knowledge beats anger. I can just go on and on this stuff. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think in the comments about this. I think the world is bleeding right now. And what do we do to stitch up the wounds and get better? I don't know. If I did, I would wave a goddamn magic wand right now and fix it, but I can't. I think this is going to take a lot more than a few people trying to make a turn, but I think maybe a few people can start planting seeds to get more and more people to stop being an NPC and wake up from the matrix, unplug yourself and start seeing the world for what it is and start making changes. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video here. A little bit longer than I was anticipating, but anyways, if you like what you've seen, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And again, drop me a comment down below on what you think in general, or where do you think the world is taking a shit at? What's causing the issue? What can we do to try to fix it? This felt a little darker than the normal ones that we do, where we kind of just poke some fun and get some laughs out of it. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you on the next one tomorrow. Peace.